How many times have you found yourself repeating patterns that seem to make no sense? It's as if some decisions are made before you even think about them, right? The truth is that much of our choices are guided by subconscious programming, which started being shaped back in childhood. If success still feels distant, maybe it's time to revisit the beliefs that brought you here. What you discover today could be the turning point to rewrite your own story, aligning your mind with the life you've always desired. From childhood, the subconscious mind becomes the invisible conductor of our lives. Bruce Lipton shows us that during the first 7 years, we absorb everything like a sponge. And the curious thing is, this defines how we operate for most of our lives. Think about those who, from an early age, were surrounded by beliefs of abundance. It's no coincidence that, years later, many become successful leaders. And why do those who faced hardships often reproduce the same circumstances? The key lies in the deeply rooted beliefs programmed into the subconscious mind, which end up shaping our behavior. Imagine a child who grows up hearing that money is scarce and that it's hard to succeed. This programming will reverberate throughout life, guiding decisions based on these limiting beliefs. Now compare that with someone who constantly hears that wealth is a natural consequence of good decisions. It's not just about words, but a mental programming that influences behaviors and choices. Thus, what happens in childhood has the power to define whether someone lives in abundance or scarcity. This leads us to the question of how this process occurs, almost as if we are hypnotized. During the first 7 years of life, a child's mind operates at a slower vibrational state called theta. This state is similar to hypnosis, and it's here that the true magic of mental programming happens. Children at this stage don't have critical filters. They simply absorb what they see and hear around them. This explains why so many behaviors, beliefs, and even fears persist throughout life. If during this phase, the child witnesses financial arguments, they may incorporate limiting beliefs about money, which could hinder their path to wealth later on. Now imagine the power of this. In this natural state of hypnosis, constant repetition of behaviors and ideas enters directly into the subconscious. Want a practical example? If a child is exposed, day after day, to stories of success and overcoming challenges, they grow up with the conviction that success is attainable. On the other hand, if the environment is filled with messages of failure, that child is likely to develop self-protective behaviors and a fear of taking risks. But how do these programmed behaviors come into play in daily life? This leads us to understand the struggle between the conscious and subconscious. Most of us believe we make conscious decisions throughout the day, but the truth is that our conscious mind is active for only about 5% of the time. The rest of our behavior comes from the subconscious autopilot, which was shaped during childhood. This explains why so many people find it difficult to change habits or behaviors, even though they rationally know what they should do. It's like trying to row against a powerful current. The subconscious always pulls you back to what was programmed long ago. Imagine, for example, someone who grew up hearing that money is the root of all evil. Even if this person studies finance and invests time in learning how to create wealth, the subconscious can sabotage these efforts. After all, 95% of daily decisions are guided by these old beliefs. The good news is that this programming can be changed. How? Through a continuous process of repetition and new practices that begin to plant different seeds in the fertile soil of the subconscious. Speaking of reprogramming, there's a specific path to rewriting these beliefs. Reprogramming the subconscious is like updating a computer's operating system. To change behavior and deep-rooted beliefs, it's necessary to adopt practices that directly influence the subconscious. Among these practices, repetition is a powerful tool. When you practice new behaviors, such as an abundance mindset or healthy habits, they begin to be incorporated as new programs. Another effective technique is self-hypnosis, which puts the mind in a theta state, allowing new messages to pass without resistance, directly into the subconscious. Let's imagine someone who wants to achieve more financial success but carries the old belief that they don't deserve to be rich. This person can start practicing daily affirmations like, "I am worthy of abundance," and visualizations of a prosperous life. By doing this repeatedly, they begin to alter the subconscious pattern that was blocking their way. This mental programming is so essential that even big names like Bruce Lipton advocate that this is the key to completely transforming one's life. But could the environment also play a role in this process? The environment we grow up in plays a fundamental role in programming our subconscious mind. People born into wealthy families often internalize beliefs of abundance and success early on. For them, wealth is not a distant goal but a natural reality, something that simply is part of life. This explains why so many wealthy people continue to succeed without having to make a conscious effort to do so. Their subconscious is already programmed with the idea that wealth is the norm, making it easier to replicate these results in adulthood. On the other hand, those who grow up in an environment of scarcity end up absorbing limiting beliefs like, "Money is hard to come by," or "You have to work hard to succeed." Even if they consciously try to change this reality, the subconscious always pulls them back to what was programmed in childhood. Want a practical example? Compare a child who grew up hearing about investments and opportunities with one who was exposed to discussions about debt and hardships. Their behaviors regarding money will be completely different. But how can we use this knowledge to create new realities? Have you ever stopped to think about how many opportunities you've missed because you're stuck in a mental programming that no longer serves you? Now that you have the tools to reprogram your subconscious, it's time to act. What will you do today to change your life moving forward? Will you keep following the same patterns, or are you ready to transform your behavior and finally achieve success? The path is ahead of you, and the choice is yours. If you want to continue on this journey of growth and learning, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, you will find everything you need to rewrite your story.